What's up, everybody? It's your girl, that cherrygurljo, and I'm back with another video. More like reaction. We just gonna talk about it. So if you're here, then you already know what we're talking about. P Valley, episode 4. Why are you making me wait this long? I don't understand. Now, to me, I do mine a little different. I just kind of break it down character by character, whatever they did during the episode. Alright. So I guess we'll start with like the stuff that wasn't that juicy first. Andre and the little half black, half white son, the little outcast son or whatever. They basically get together. They're still trying to get the paint, of course. But then it's like, they just sitting down there kind of having a conversation, and the brother is like, oh, well, nobody, I forgot to put my nail back on. Okay. Anyway, the brother is just basically telling him how, like, yeah, my brother's going to win. Nobody's going to want to go up against him, blah, 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 blah. And then Andre basically was like, well, I'll do it. And, like, the brother basically told him, like, if you do it, then, like, I'll put the money behind you because, you know, they treat him like dirt anyway. So they go through this long spiel. He was like, yes, I had to cast my vote. I have land here. I grew up here, all this other stuff. So I think he gonna try to run or whatever. And then the brother gonna try to help him or whatever. Anyway, nothing too eventful. Hailey is still struggling, if you ask me. I don't know. You know that when you first get into business and you just trying to figure stuff out and you just taking over, and she got her way of doing things, which clearly she need help running the Pynk. She need Uncle Clifford. So she was basically just doing her own thing or whatever. It didn't work as we saw in the last episode. So like she's still in that little awkward stage of like trying to figure out like, okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Or whatever. But her and Uncle Clifford did discuss if they was to sell the paint or whatever. And it was like, she was like, I'm not selling for not less than 10 million, I think. Yeah, 10 million. And then Uncle Clifford, you know, he don't really want to sell because he's always trying to look out for the girls or whatever. But he was like, but then again, it would make me like, what, $1.3 million? So, they all up in that. Besides that, they didn't really do too much. Of course, Uncle Clifford and Hailey just went back and forth like they always do. That one new girl, she, because they needed a new DJ. I think it's the one that Mercedes didn't really like at the end, and I think Hailey brought her on anyway. Mama's is acting a fool. She in a DJ booth twerking. The other dancers was kind of mad because it's like, baby, are you a DJ or are you a dancer? I'm gonna need for you to pick one. Kind of like when Shorty was at the bar, but she was twerking, but she was supposed to be a bartender. Mama, get it how you get it. Like, I ain't mad at you. I'm really not mad at you. The other two girls, because I can't remember their name, the one that basically was supposed to replace, I guess it was Cashapp and Gidget, their little replacements. I don't know, the one white girl got the other black girl hired in the bathroom. And then she broke Uncle Clifford rules. No titties on the main stage. And baby, she had them out. Mama's had them out. And she was on a high like no other. I don't know if that was her first one, but the way she looked, and it was giving me my first high type vibes. But I don't know, because when she, it's like, baby girl did that before. That's just me, but I don't know. It looked like she did that before, but when she was, Mama's was out there. But she got her money though. They made it rain for a real one. Nah. But yeah, speaking of Gidget, whatever her name is, you know how she ran away after her mama died. Her little old boyfriend came back and was like, yes, this is my last time doing this. I'm gonna get a ring and a white picket fence and I'm gonna get my girl back. But like, 2 minutes later, he was looking at the other black girl that was with the white girl now. So I was like, baby, you gotta make up your mind. But evidently, I think Gidget blames him for her mother's death. Probably because, you know, he be pushing all them the narcotics, and they probably was fake. And he was like, how was I supposed to know? I don't know. Long story here, neither here nor there. He trying to get this girl back, but still looking at the other girl at the same time. And the dude with the hat just be looking at him. That's how he look at him. So that happened. But who's next? Mercedes' shoulder still jacked up, and that became apparent. So you know how Coach offered her this penthouse and this allowance and all this other stuff. She was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I think I'll take you up on your offer if your wife says okay." So I'm ready to meet her. So Mama's pulled up to a little penthouse. She in there taking pictures. She was like, "Dad, I'm acting just like Keisha," which she was. And then that's when the wife just appeared, and she was just like, "Hi, sign page 1, 3, 45, 67, 69, 11, 12, and page 100. And then Mercedes was just looking at her like, bitch, what? Long story short, they all sitting across from each other. Of course, he's in the middle. Mercedes over here, the wife's over here, and she was looking at the pictures that the wife had taken. Like, he was like trying to downplay his wife, kind of, because he was like, how did he put it? That's when she was a real photographer. And she was like, I still am. And he was like, no, like when you did it like professionally. And Mercedes was like, well, they look mighty professional to me. And she was basically like kind of checking them a little bit, like, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. And then like she looked at one of the pictures and she broke it down. And she was like, I ain't never seen it done like this. Da, da, da. So that kind of softened up the wife a little bit. And then Mercedes goes and sits down. He gets a call, and then the wife is like, she's looking like real nervous, kind of like, and she's just like, this is my first time too. And then Mercedes was like, huh? You know, like, what you talking about? And then she was like, this is my first time meeting one of his, I think she said one of his hoes. Anyway, one of his side chicks. And she was like, they never really want to meet me. And then they basically went back, you know, the same old thing. And then she asked Mercedes, why did she want to meet her? And she was like, she got more or something like that. Or she got a little bit or something like that. And the wife just like, really? You're getting paid $10,000 a week, and that's $40,000 for a week. You make probably half a Friday, all a Saturday, and half a Sunday, because then you gotta go back to his wife. So that's like that's $20,000 a day. You might as well say. That's neither here nor there. It's not my business. Okay, so yeah, she was like, girl, I'm getting less than that, and I gotta sleep under him every week. She was like, you wouldn't trade? Mercedes like, no. That's my refrigerator. She's running. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, she was like, well, let me leave you alone. And Coach was like, no, you have to see the Mercedes experience. And she was like, no, you don't have to do that. He was like, no, but you really have to see it. It's like, you know that thing with the da-da-da, and you take your arm and your leg, and you see like the instant fear on her face when he says this. But then she was like, no, you really don't have to do that. Don't worry, I'm gonna leave. Da da da. And Mercedes like, you got somewhere I can plug this up in? Because you know how she get down. Like, baby, this is an experience. I'm giving it all to you. So she was like, she went there, and that's when you could kind of tell that her shoulder is still jacked up. it's probably not as jacked up as it was since Cutie Pie did that whole voodoo thing. That ain't my business. However, he's still cute and it's still voodoo and her shoulder's still messed up. So it got rid of some of them. It just ain't got rid of all of it. She might want to double back, get one more session done. She didn't did it the first time. Might as well go ahead and get it finished. That's all I'm saying. She might as well get it finished. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so she's on the pole and you see she got this look, but she fight through it. She did that with the legs and da-da-da. And her phone rung and she was like, oh shit. So she go hits that. And then like she goes up to like coach or whatever and she's like not like that, but clearly I was never a stripper in this day. Whew. Clearly. Anyway, yeah, and then like all you see is the wife off to the corner and she's naked. And Mercedes just like, I mean, but you know, that happened. But that did get so they did whatever they was doing or whatever. So it's like him in the middle, like he's facing Mercedes and like his wife is like kind of in the back, but like her phones go off again later in the show while they were still like intertwining or whatever. So she hops up and they're like, once she hops up, like he just turns to his wife or whatever. And she got the call. She was like, Terica, what's wrong with you? Why you call? I told you I was working. And they like, that's when the that little sheriff, that little deputy, whatever he is, James, whatever, he was like, nah, somebody gonna have to get her, she going to jail, basically. And she was like, she can't be driving. He was like, yeah, the car is to the owner. Come to find out, that little stepmama of hers been getting drunk because she lost a job, which let me rewind because earlier in the show, Terica's driving the truck and she was like, to the grandma, Patrice, went to go see her to her church, get like a food box or whatever. And she was like, oh, can I get two? I'm getting it for my neighbor. And she spent some of the Bible verse to the lady. And then she was like, Pastor, now I know you said she can only have one. However, she's getting it for a neighbor. She done hit me with the Bible verse. So you know how I feel when the Bible verses come out. And she was like, go, I got it. And then she tried to tell the same little lie to her grandma. And her grandma was like, you look just like Mercedes when you lie. And then the grandma gave her 4 boxes and she went about her business. Whatever. But that brings us back current to when she get pulled over. And then Mercedes had to go get her because if not, she was going to jail for underage driving. So get back to the stepmama in them house or whatever. And Mercedes like blasting her with the shindig tub and little shower head. And they have this whole little spill. And she was like about, yeah, she lost her job. Evidently, this lady had a drinking problem before because she was like, I thought you were sober. And she was like, well, it's hard to stay sober when you lose your job. So they had this long little thing, long drawn out, and she was basically saying how she had to take care of her child. Mercedes was like, I begged you for my kid. I begged you time after time. I wanted my daughter back. I begged you. You told me no every time. And she was like, I didn't tell you no. He told you no. And that's when she was kind of like, what? She was like, on his dying bed, his last breath, he would tell me to take care of her. So that's what I've been doing. You know how hard it is to look your mistake in the eye every day? Look his mistake in the eye every day. She said, I've been faithful to a dead man who couldn't even be faithful to me when he was alive. And she just started laughing. But it was like one of those pitiful laughs, like, damn, really? This is what my life has come to? This is what it's coming to? I kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, baby, he dead and gone. What he gonna do? Give that girl her daughter back. You don't want to keep looking at her every day. You don't want to take care of her. Hell, at this point, you can't take care of her because you ain't got no job. Just give her back to her mama. The mama want her back and she want to go back. Give it back to her mama. So yeah. But in the midst of that, all the stuff come out. Mercedes lied about her age, about being 18 when she was really 15. The daughter heard all this, so then they have a whole conversation. And then she was like, well, why you never came out and get me? She was like, I was 15. My mama told me I had to do it. And then she was like, but you didn't stay 15. She was like, but what court was going to give a stripper back a daughter? Which makes sense. Because, now I ain't want to take sides. But let's just look at the facts. Chattanooga, and she's a dancer, very talented dancer. You know, mama's getting a coin, but that's still down there by the Bible Belt. You know, them same ones that want to preach to you on Sunday, be trying to buy coochie on Saturday, and Friday and Thursday. And Wednesday at the prayer meeting, and Tuesday and right before Bible study. You get the point. And then, you know, because they got to start their week off on Monday. It's been stressful. Mondays are hard. So I'm just saying. That's just what you do. The same ones in the trying to tell you, you wrong for stripping. You wrong for selling cat. You wrong for... Well, you wrong for buying it. If the demand wasn't so high, she wouldn't have to sell it. But anyway, so she was like, you just gonna have an excuse for everything. And she's young, she's hurt. She feel like a mama didn't want her and daddy left her. Even though he didn't want to leave, it still probably feels like that. You left me. You left me with this woman who don't want me. I wanted the Mercedes sign them papers before she left. Because I want mama to get her coin. Because when she left, Coach and Wifey, they look like they had got the spark back. It's going to be messed up if she helped get the spark back and then he don't want it back to her. Oh no. Burn it down. Everybody must die. Let me go to somebody else. Oh, I'll be talking about Mercedes. The white brother that's trying to be mayor was at some church function with the other guy who didn't want Patrice to preach at his church but wanted her daughter money. That one. Anyway, they was at their little function, and you know, she got up and did a Patrice thing about white folks and all this other stuff, not trusting them, and telling that nobody at her church was going to vote for the bill. So next thing you know, he comes in during the service. She come to bring the money back to get it counted, and mama's making bank. Like, they had the money machine and everything. And then, due to COVID laws and there's too many people, you must shut down immediately. And he said something about don't do something to your neighbor. No. He said you mess with the wrong neighbor. And she said, well, then you fuck with the wrong bitch. These some cousin people to be church folks, I tell you. That word says the cousin pastor. He funny. Twerking for Jesus. Anyway, let me get off them. Who next? Who y'all don't want to hear? Well, this is gonna be all in one, so it really don't matter which order I go in. Little Murda, Keyshawn, it's all the same thing. So of course they doing a 12-city tour. They hitting the cities. You buying postcards for Uncle Clifford from every city. That was cute. That was real cute. And then at the end, it showed a little scene of like all the little postcards Uncle Clifford had put up from all the little cities he's sitting to. But yeah, anyway. Y'all remember, if y'all see me keep getting on, this is the I got a set of these chairs. It's 2 of them, but one of them is mighty crooked. And Bookie, I'm gonna need for you to come fix it because I'm not sure why it's crooked, but you've put it together the first time, and I'm gonna need for you to come fix it if you ever see this. Don't worry, I'll call you after this. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What was I saying? The guy. Okay, first of all, now Wody know that Little Murda's gay. We know that well, no, we don't know this. I feel like him and that when they went got out of jail had something going on. I think everybody feels like that. I ain't gonna front because it was the way he just so eloquently grabbed the back of his head. It was like, I miss you, babe. That's why I feel like he said it in my heart. That's when he grabbed it. It was like, damn, I miss you, babe. Glad you made it out, boo. But anyway, so they in this one little spot. I think that was in New Orleans. It's supposed to be New Orleans or whatever. And then like this guy from jail walked in. It was like, Dad, when you get out. So evidently, they met this guy in jail. So of course they had to de-escalate it because you know, homeboy that just got out of jail is with the ish. And he ready to die behind Little Murda. And he ready to kill because he already killed. Because they had talked about this one little prison story about some guy asked Little Murda. He was like, yo, where your muscles at? Little Murda supposedly was like, same place your hairline had in it. Or something like that. And then he was like, because then Little Murda was like, Dad, that was the night that he shanked me. He almost hit his liver or spleen or something. And then he was like, yeah, but if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. So evidently he shanked him, but they must have all been together or he was near. And then he killed that other guy and then dude got sent to the hole because he said that when he was in the hole, Little Murda wrote some whack raps and gave him to the security guard, but he was like, it was so dark down there. That was like the light to me. I was like, yeah. Y'all was bunk buddies. You know what I'm talking about. You know, that's what they say. In jail, gay for the stay. I don't know. But anyway. So, long story short, they got into it there. That kind of de-escalated a little bit, but they kind of got into it again because when Little Murda was walking out, you know, the girls be jocking. So the girls was all on him, and then like the dude tried to come at him again, and then the other guy said something to him. And then he was like, nah, y'all ain't his type. They trying to throw him out there. That's why I was like, gotta be. It's just too much. But this is my thing. If it happened in jail, why is you out here in these streets telling this man business if he ain't ready to put it out there? But it's like, oh, when it was in there, they was just minding their business and they was chilling. But then it's like, also, the light-skinned dude that represent Keyshawn, the guy who was always trying to start trouble with them that obviously knew him in jail or whatever, that guy was like, so you represent Lil Murda? He was like, nah, that's Wody. I represent the thing that's the reason why he hot. And then it was like, you know how they talk about her? Yeah, she bad. They really talk about her. I feel bad for Keyshawn because I feel like people really treat her like a piece of meat. And it's like everybody wants, I think that manager low-key wanted too. He just trying to figure out how to way to get him, first get her away from Little Murda, and then secondly, get away from that boyfriend, husband, whatever he is to her. Because I think he wants to smash her too. I just feel like everybody just wants to use her, and I just feel so bad. But then again, at some point you gotta wake up. I feel like, I guess she called herself, that's what she's trying to do now. Anyway, but then long story short, he was like, yeah, he hot now, but let's see how he gonna feel when his next single is, what is it? Trade Rodeo or something like that. And the guy looked at him. And then from there, he just always started looking at them different or whatever. So like, after that happened, that's when they go back out. That's when they're like back outside, because you know I'm all over the place. And that's when it was like, yeah, you ain't they type. They get into a scuffle or whatever. Keyshawn ended up having to drive and whoop and get everybody up out of there. Then like the dude was just laying flat, and then it was like, yo, little man was like, you okay? You okay? Because he had like a little blood on him. Whatever. Like, fuck on me, I'm alright. Then Keyshawn manager is like, you can tell the characters that I don't really care for, because I just be like, oh, that's her manager, and I don't really know their name, whatever. But yeah, Keyshawn is just like, her manager is like, we're gonna have to have security for security. I just looked at him, and then they just him and Little Murda, the jail friend, and Little Murda just laid flat on their back like this and looked up at the sky. I was like, ain't no stars, ain't no sunroof. What are you looking at the thing for? But anyway, after that, that's when like you see back at the hotel. And this is why I said I think the guy wants Keyshawn. The manager wants Keyshawn. Little Murda's walking to the door. It's a whole bunch of girls. He go knock on the door. Of course, Keyshawn. She opens it up. And when she does, she grabs his face and she go to kiss him. And then like, it's like the manager is down the hallway looking. But it's like, once he sees that, he's like in utterly disgust. Like, how could she do that? Like, but baby, Keyshawn know how to play her part. She trying to get up out of there. I really think she trying to leave that man in. But she just gotta get her that skrilla. She gotta find a way out. Diamond tried to get her a way out, but she was bullshit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah. So back to Little Murda. So then he goes in. She's talking about this hair oil or whatever. He's sitting down. He's trying to write a little note or whatever. And then first she kind of played off. She was like, you left her, so why you mad? And then he said something else. Oh, no, she was like, let me see what you got. And it was just like, I guess I miss you. And she was like, no, you just gotta type from your heart. Da, 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 da. So he went back and he wrote that. And then she looked at it. And he wrote, nigga, I love you, or something like that. I just like, and she was like, that's all you got? He was like, that's all that's in my heart. That's how my heart feels. That's all that's in there. Like, I love you, bro. So she said, we about to go say this right now. So she started jumping on the bed. She go jump on the other bed. She's throwing up money. He was like, Keyshawn, stop with your goofy self. Like, bro, chill. So she started throwing the money. She threw the money in his face like that. Like, just like being playful. He was like, I'm gonna put this in my pocket. But he put it back up. Yeah, so then that's when the dude came, knocked on the door and stuff like that. Let's go to the store. And then that's when they had that whole little moment about the shank and him being in darkness and it's light and all this other stuff. And then that's how it pretty much goes off. No, it goes off with going back to Uncle Clifford and then you seeing the postcards up. And that's how it goes off. Now, I know this was all over the place. However, if you did get to see the show, drop your comments down below. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me who you like. Tell me who you don't like. I want you to like the video. Follow me on IG, cherrygurljo. Follow me on everything else. Is probably that cherrygurljo, except for TikTok is that cherrygurljo 1. Because I had it the other way, but lost the password. That's neither here nor there. All right, and we're out.